Welcome to today's podcast. In today's session, we have with us an expert from a field related to batteries. Ramesh Natarajan, a veteran with over 42 years of hands-on battery industry experience, will be asking our esteemed guest a host of technical questions. Enjoy the session.
Hello everybody. In today's episode of the podcast, I have with me Mr. Clint, who is the Vice President Global Sales of ENTEK, the organization which makes PE separators, which are used in lead-acid batteries. And before I start this session with Mr. Clint, I would like Mr. Clint to tell the listeners something about how he came into this battery industry and his experience in the battery industry, and what exactly he's doing with ENTEK and the separators. And good morning, Mr. Clint. Can you please introduce yourself? And
good morning, Ramesh. Thank you so much for inviting me to participate in your podcast. I'm delighted to be here. My name's Clint Beutelschies. I'm the Vice President of Global Sales for ENTEK. I've been with ENTEK a little over 5 years. Prior to ENTEK, I worked in specialty papers and films for more than 20 years, and have really enjoyed my time and learned a lot since joining ENTEK about the battery industry. I've got a great team that I work with, and we've been working hard to expand the business since I came on board. I live and work out of Singapore, but our corporate headquarters is in Oregon in the United States. ENTEK is a global company. We have manufacturing locations in every region of the world, and we've got some really exciting things happening that I look forward to telling you about today.
yeah, shall we start with some basics? Can you enlighten the listeners on the progress in the development of separators? I mean, the separators initially started with wood, and then PVC, sintered, and there were so many other separators, and then we have come to PE finally. The majority of the people use PE, for the flooded electrolyte batteries. So can you enlighten the listeners on the progress in the development?
Wow, that's a pretty broad range, going all the way back to wood.
Yes.
Lead acid batteries, the first lead acid battery was developed, I think, back in the 1850s in France. And wood separators were commonly used in the beginning. The challenge there, of course, was the electrolyte for batteries is acid, and the longevity and durability of wood could be improved upon. And over the years, there's been lots of materials that have been tried, and some with better success than others. Basically, a separator needs to be fairly porous. It needs to wet out well so that it provides for the flow of ions through the separator. Electrical resistance, puncture resistance, and long-term durability are key requirements of the material. As you might imagine, there's been a great evolution of technology over the years, from wood, cellulose materials, rubber, PVC, glass fiber, polyethylene. A lot of materials can be used, but really where we are at this point in time, ultra high molecular weight polyethylene and glass fibers, or AGM, are really the two best materials in terms of performance and economics.
Are the majority of the people in the battery industry now using PE for battery manufacturing, especially for the flooded electrolyte, And can you give a ballpark figure on the likely percentage of PE separator users globally?
Globally, there's probably 850 to 900 million square meters of demand globally for PE separators.
Per year?
Per year. And that represents about around 70% of the market. After that, of course, is AGM, a little better than 20% of the market, and then a variety of other materials that are used as well.
AGM only for VRLA batteries, right? In the flooded electrolyte?
So with AGM batteries, yes, VRLA. big application and growing. We see strong demand in industrial, motive power, telecom, and then also, of course, automotive, where in Europe and in the United States, where stop-start applications have been rolled out to address emissions, that segment of the market is growing very rapidly.
The EFB?
EFB is a PE product that is in the same space as AGM, servicing those stop-start enabled vehicles. And again, EFB, I'm talking automotive. EFB stands for Enhanced Flooded Batteries.
Yes.
And that enables the battery to handle the deep draw applications and the constant stop-start as
the vehicle stops at a signal and all.
Yeah, when you arrive at a traffic light or a stop sign, vehicle cuts itself off until the light turns green and you're able to go again.
Yeah.
And you need a battery that can accommodate that kind of activity.
So are those batteries having PE separators which are different from the normal PE separators?
They are. We have a different recipe, different formulation for those. We make those a little differently, and the technology behind it's proprietary. We've got a version, and our competitors also have a version. We've been very successful. We were early in Europe with that product, and it scaled up dramatically. We had only one location in the world that could make it for the first few years. That was our Newcastle, UK facility. Mm-hmm. But now we've expanded that technology to the United States and to our facility in Indonesia.
Okay. Do people use any other separators for EFB other than PE?
Not to my knowledge. It's PE separators for EFB, and then of course AGM separators gets the rest of the market for stop-start.
So AGM separators are also used for EFB?
Stop-start. Well, so AGM falls in a different category as EFB. EFB would be a PE separator.
Only?
Yeah. AGM can be used in the same application. AGM, absorbent glass mat,
yes,
is well suited for that application as well, but is a more expensive technology than EFB. So in the separator world, probably the most economical separator for a battery is the separator that we make day in and day out for standard flooded batteries. The product that we make for EFB batteries with PE is a little more costly because it's a unique recipe and it's got some different additives to it. And then, of course, the next step up would be AGM, which can also be used for stop-start applications. So that's that segment of the market where EFB and AGM play for automotive. We refer to that as advanced battery technologies.
So other than the EFB, are the separators for various applications different? I mean, related to a web thickness or possibly the composition of units, composition of inputs used, like rubber in some separator, or maybe more oil content for better oxidation resistance and all that, or separators with only web thickness and no ribs but only canalure or something like that. Do you make different types of separators for the different applications, and do you recommend that to the customers, or the customers drive you and say this is what I want? What exactly, how exactly do you work like?
Well, it's I think it's in our best interest to standardize as much as possible, but we've got great customers that have some great technologies in their batteries, and we do make a variety of offerings for the marketplace. Just in its most basic sense, I mean, battery makers have a wide variety of profile designs and varying rib heights and back web thicknesses. For some time now, we've seen a shift towards thinner back web separators in the market. PE separators today have the toughness and durability to allow the market to transition from 0.25 to 0.20 to 0.15 thickness back webs.
0.15?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, we probably in North America and Europe, we probably make more 0.15 than we do other back web thicknesses for automotive applications. Buying a high quality 0.15 separator is a great way to lower the ER of the separator and also reduce the cost of the separator. And it's proven performance. It's been out there for years, and we've got a handful of great customers that have seen absolutely no degradation in performance or no increase in warranty returns and are very satisfied with the thinner separators.
You don't have problem using such separators in the tropical climate conditions, or have you not tried?
Well, no, we do. We sell the product into South America, into Brazil. We sell it into Asia, southern U.S., southern Europe. A lot of very hot, humid environments, and product is a champ. It works great.
Probably the battery is not abused much in these places?
I would disagree. Down in South America, in Brazil, for example, the road construction there is not what it is in, say, North America or Europe, and those batteries take a lot of abuse. Now, for things like truck batteries and other applications, we use beefier back webs, and in some cases to glass mat laminations as well. But for automotive, passenger cars, the 0.15 is proven to be a great product for us.
When you use 0.15, do you necessarily use a glass mat?
No, we don't.
You don't?
No.
And still the battery works well?
Absolutely.
Only in automotive application? Or do you use it for any other application?
It can be used for other applications, but really it's automotive, yeah.
Mostly automotive?
Mostly automotive.
Okay. What is your recommendation for electric vehicles and golf carts and these e-rickshaws and vehicles which, carry passengers in the airport
Sure.
and all those places?
So for lead acid electric vehicles, obviously we've been supplying separators for golf cart and for more recently e-rickshaws for a while now. Mm-hmm. For customers that have issues with water loss and need help with antimony suppression, we make a separator that has some rubber containing additives that we put in the PE separator, and you get the best of both worlds. You get the traditional advantages of PE, and then you get something that works better in an application like an e-rickshaw or a golf cart.
So those are these separators with the rubber additives costlier?
They are.
How much, like in terms of percentage?
It's hard to characterize because it really depends where in the world and on what machine we're running it in, and it's going to be a little bit more costly, but it's not prohibitively costly. We sell it into e-rickshaw in India today, and we make it in Indonesia, and the product's growing for us. And we've made it in the Americas for many years for golf cart. So we're very familiar with the technology. We've optimized it and taken cost out of it and got it down to a point where it's a high performance product at a reasonable price.
Okay. Now coming back to my question, like the cannelure and the web thickness and the rib. So how are these made different for different applications? Like the automotive, you need only the rib and the back web, and probably in the stationary you also need the cannelure, the back ribs.
So when we talk with a customer, it depends on who the customer is and their approach to the market. In some instances, customers talk with us and ask us for our guidance and our proposal. Most often, customers will come to us and say, here's what we use. Here's a drawing of what we currently use. Can you look at it and is this something that you can match or improve upon? And typically, we'd like to offer them something that we can improve upon if possible. But a lot of times we take their design, their drawings, and we cut a tool to service their needs and make it with the right recipe for the right application. You think about our business, we look at really two major buckets of market application, industrial and automotive. And we've optimized machines at all of our locations to make those products. If you go to our facility in Indonesia, we've got 4 lines there today, and On 2 of those lines, we make industrial products. One of them can go back and forth. The other 2 lines make just automotive products.
Automotive.
Right. Now, the other thing about Indonesia is we are in the process of installing a massive line. It's going to be a beast of a production line for PE separators. It will more than double the capacity of the plant. One machine will more than double the capacity for the 4 existing machines.
Okay.
And that machine will be starting up in the 3rd quarter of this year. So we're very excited about that.
Okay, so naturally the cost will come down too?
We did not build a plant in Indonesia because it was cheap. We built a plant in Indonesia because we have customers in this region of the world.
Transport is a big
Transport's a huge deal.
cost.
And, we bought that plant in 2017 and completely upgraded everything that plant had to offer. It was owned by the name of the business was Separendo.
PT Separando.
Yeah, PT Separando Indonesia, and we acquired it. We upgraded all the lines. We poured just a ton of money into the operation. For the first year and a half, we wouldn't put the ENTEK name on the box until we got the quality up to ENTEK level. And when we finally got the quality up to where we were proud of it and could put the ENTEK E on it, we did. And today that product or that facility in Indonesia makes the same great product that you would buy from us in the UK or in the United States.
United States.
Yeah.
So you have 3 plants basically, one in UK, one in US, and one in Indonesia now?
So those are the legacy ENTEK plants. But in September, we acquired NSG in Japan.
Oh.
And when I say NSG, the NSG Battery Separator Division of NSG Corporation. And so they have a plant in Tarui, Japan that makes PE separator, and they're well respected in the marketplace, very large with Japanese battery makers and Japanese car companies. So now that's an ENTEK operation as well. So we have the 3 legacy plants, plus the one that we acquired in September in Japan, plus NSG also came with AGM. So we have a plant in Japan that makes AGM in Tarui, and another plant in China that makes AGM as well.
Both those are the NSG technology?
Yes, NSG technology, that's correct.
Okay, so ENTEK as such was never making AGM before
We
that?
were never making AGM before.
So you got an expertise from NSG?
We did.
You got a different product line?
We got their technology, their expertise, and we've got a great group of people in Japan that we can work with to make those products.
Japanese are good.
They are very good.
They're very good.
They are helping us grow that business. In fact, just today, the company announced that we are going to build an AGM manufacturing plant in the United States. And I'm very happy to announce that we're going to build an AGM manufacturing plant in India.
Congrats.
So, yeah.
That's the good news.
Very exciting times for us.
It's good for India too.
It is. It's great for India.
It's great for India.
Our president, Rob Keith, was just over a month ago, and he and I made the rounds with some of the major battery builders in India, talked about needs and how to best service them and what the future could hold. And we were convinced pretty quickly that it's time to step up our game and put a facility in India, and we think this AGM is going to fill a need in the marketplace.
Probably in that case, ENTEK will be the only company which is making PE as well as AGM?
So
probably?
I think
somebody else does too.
A better question is, or a better statement would be, we're the only PE separator company in the world that makes PE separator, AGM separator, and lithium ion separator.
Okay,
we have
so
that
you
capability
also have
as well.
lithium ion?
We do. At
Separators.
our Oregon operation, we've been making lithium ion separators from the early 2000s. We were one of the leaders in the United States, and in fact shipped a lot of material to China back as that market was developing. But as the market in China got big and the government had some strong supports for local producers of lithium-ion batteries and the lithium-ion supply chain, we kind of got elbowed out of the Chinese marketplace. Now that that market is expanding into the West, it's coming back into our wheelhouse again, and we're going to be expanding our lithium-ion business as well.
Okay, so I mean, your first product was PE separators, then separators for the lithium ion. So
Right.
AGM happens to be the third.
That's right. AGM is the third one.
Okay, so anyway, that's a good news.
Yeah.
Are the PVC extruded separators, I'm not talking about the sintered, better in the sense that they do not have problems due to oil leaching during battery service life? Because this oil scum is a major cause of worry, especially in motive power and deep cycle applications, where the battery is fully discharged to say about 80% depth of discharge and then recharged again. In those cases, we find a lot of oil scum coming, unlike in an automotive battery or an inverter battery or a UPS application battery. So this is a major problem in the EV battery segment as well as the motive power segment.
So I have a couple of comments about that. Number one, the PVC separators that are available today are high quality products, and they're niche products and they have their place. They have a value proposition that works for a select group of customers. And, I don't want to say anything negative about the PVC folks. There are some challenges around, the fact that material handling, and you can buy PE separators in rolls, and it's easy to process. But the economics of working with PE is typically a little better than what you see on the PVC side. The other comment I would make about black scum...
Because of the inventory, you mean?
Because of
inventory carrying costs.
Because of inventory and
because motive power, you have a lot of sizes. If you don't get separators in rolls, you have a major problem of having boxes of separators of various sizes, and when you want a certain size, you may have to cut from a taller separator.
It's a tougher supply chain.
Yeah, it's a tougher supply chain mainly because of that. Yeah, I understand.
But the other comment, and probably the more important one, is on ENTEK's PE separators, we typically don't have a black scum problem. And the reason being is the recipe, the choice of materials that we put into our recipes to make PE separators are unique in the industry. And customers tell us all the time, especially on the industrial side of the business, that they see black scum with other separator materials, and they don't see it with ENTEK. And it's really not so much about the quantity of oil that's left in the separator. It's more about the type of oil that we use when we process the material and we make the separator. Choosing a mix of materials, be it the polyethylene, and then choosing the right oil, and of course we all extract it with solvent afterwards, can make a big difference in how the oil is consumed by the battery, and the black scum problem that a lot of the industrial customers face. So it's something we're aware of. It's something we watch closely, and I'm excited to say it really hasn't been an issue for us. We've got a great product in that respect.
So it's not only the extraction of the oil when you pass it through the solvent which is the reason for this oil scum. You say that the input which goes in is equally important, or probably more important?
It's more important. For the life of a battery, you need to leave a fairly significant residual oil content in the separator.
Yes.
And to do that, you just have to be very, very cognizant and very aware of the downsides of having that oil there. And the way you manage that is in your selection of oil. And there are a variety of oils and types that you can choose from. And we think we've got a unique recipe that allows our separators to perform better in industrial applications and not have to deal with the black scum.
So black scum is not a problem with ENTEK. You have not faced it at all.
Never say never, but it's typically not one of our bigger problems. If you look at a fishbone diagram of everything that causes us a problem, we don't spend much time talking about black scum.
The major problem must be the cost.
It's always cost.
Yes.
And today, our biggest problem is shipping and container availability. That is something we struggle with in every market right now. Our plant in the United States is on the West Coast, And shipping containers out of the West Coast, say down to South America, is a huge problem.
Especially post-COVID.
Yeah, post-COVID. Well, this whole problem developed during COVID, right? And the supply chains in the United States have just continued to build. I keep thinking that this can't go on much longer, and it just keeps going on and on and on. But in Asia, we see challenges as well. Shipping companies are not as reliable as they used to be. The demand has gone sky high, and of course, freight costs have gone up, and shipping companies have become, I don't want to say arrogant, but they don't have to be
polite anymore.
Polite, that's right.
Yes.
They
don't have to be customer centric.
They can decide, not to accept containers that were booked or change a shipping schedule, and that leaves us scrambling because, one of ENTEK's great advantages is our supply chain team. I mean, our guys do such a phenomenal job taking care of customers around the world. And they're working overtime right now, trying to keep vessels booked, trying to keep costs down, and costs are just out of control for shipping these days. And thank God we have such a talented supply chain team, because we'd really be in trouble if we didn't.
But with the voluminous market in India, don't you think that it's time for you to also think of setting up a manufacturing facility in India?
Well, we were a little late coming to India. We've got a large competitor that was in front of us, and they're a good competitor. They're smart guys, and they take care of their business as they see fit. We think we offer a strong value proposition with our location in Indonesia. It's part of the ASEAN trade agreement with India, and there's no duty coming into the country. To pursue some additional opportunities in India, we've partnered with ENTEK in Jaipur to help us go after some of the unorganized market that we couldn't reach on our own.
Yes.
And they do enveloping and sleeving, and that business just does a super job taking care of their customers.
Yeah.
And in fact, that's why we brought Rajneesh into the fold, is to help us step up our game and elevate that. ENTEK has been such a great way to enter the market for us, and I think Rajneesh is going to help support that and drive even greater sales as we go forward. Yes. So that's point number one. The unorganized market, big opportunity for us, and we've got some great partners that we're working with. Point number two, the Indonesia location. While it's always great to have a footprint in India and be able to serve customers that way, if you can't be in India, Indonesia is a great place. It's a great place to do business. We have one of the most efficient manufacturing plants in the world, especially after our new Line 5 starts up. And
it's in Jakarta?
It's just south of Jakarta.
South of Jakarta.
It's on the south side. So it's Bogor, Indonesia, just on the south side of Jakarta. Yeah. And so we take great care of customers there. A strong team in Indonesia. And as I mentioned earlier, of course, we've now got the AGM locations from NSG as well as NSG's PE separator plant.
And that is, you propose to put a plant in India?
Yes.
You already have in China and Japan?
We already have China and Japan. I said we were a little late on the PE side. On the AGM side, we're going to be right on time. We're taking NSG's technology, and we are going to build a plant in India. Our plan is to have the glass fiber paper making machine and couple it with
which is your expertise.
I've spent a lot of time in the paper industry, but couple it with fiber making technology. We're going to put a furnace in and make our own fiber as well.
Okay.
So we think we're going to have a very strong value proposition. As you know, today most of the AGM is imported from China into India.
Yes.
And
the duties are much higher.
Yeah, the duties are much higher. And our customers in India, we have a big footprint in India today that we service from Indonesia. They like doing business with us. I think they trust us. We've got great relationships, and they would love for us to make AGM in India. So we're bringing that forward.
Yeah. Anyway, anything else you want to say?
I just want to say I'm delighted to be here. I mean, you and I are both here today because Mr. Agarwal's daughter's getting married, and we're at the festivities in Goa. And I'm just having a blast. It's such a great time, and I just can't say how delighted I am to spend time with so many distributors and the high-tech team. And you and I just met on this trip, and I've really enjoyed our conversations as well.
Thank you, Mr. Clint. It was a pleasure talking to you, and thanks for the interesting details which you have given about the separators and your future plans for India. Thank you very much.
Hey, Ramesh, I look forward to working with you in the future. We'll see you around the industry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
We hope the Q&A session was useful and insightful. You may contact us by writing to rameshnkailad@gmail.com. rameshNkailad@gmail.com. Please do visit www.rameshnatrajan.in. Keep yourself updated about our new releases by hitting the subscribe button.